The whole purpose of negative events
Hmm.
is to educate us. People hate this. We pass on the ability to progress, the ability to help everybody understand when we encounter problems, that if we can learn from them, we can pass that information on so other people have an easier time. The way I look at it, I went to a family reunion, not family, school reunion, 50-year reunion. I took my girlfriend, who had never met any of these people. One of my former friends in school said, "Hey, Veitenheimer, are you still getting arrested every Friday night?" And I go, "No, that's, I kind of quit that." So she was referring to the fact that they would, what do they call it? What's the movie where they would, precognition? I think Tom Cruise in or somebody about, they would pre-crime. They would arrest me on Friday night. They wouldn't charge me after 5 o'clock, and they would let me out on Monday. And I tell the judge there were no charges because they didn't want me on the streets on Friday night and Saturday night and whatever. I appeared to be a problem. Okay. Now, that was all pre-internet to go dig through that. Now, does that make me a bad person? No, that made me a product of my environment. I wasn't the only one. Everybody else was doing it too. Like we had a reputation as like the third most violent school in the country in the 50s. Like, where do you think that came from? And the behaviors that we all exhibited. And of course, the best explanation of it is Coolio, Gangster's Paradise. And what does he say? I'm a victim of the hood. I was raised there. I didn't know any different. And I'm like, when I heard that song, I was like, wow, that's the first time everybody ever explained that you were the outcome of all those programs, all the problems that your parents and everybody else had, the drugs, the alcohol, the craziness. You were just the outcome of that. It doesn't mean you don't have the opportunity to change. But when you change and say, I no longer do that, nobody believes you. Okay. It's like you get front page news and the retraction is this big on the fifth page of the newspaper at that time. That's the way it works. The punishment is the process, or the process is the punishment. And even if you win, you still get tarred and feathered. We used to say the old language. I can tell you a good lawyer makes a difference. In fact, once I hired a good lawyer at the end of all that, it all disappeared. Nobody angle with him. The court, the justices, the judges, nobody wanted a piece of him because he sued everybody for money. So, so that's why I say there is a way through it, but it's a legal way. It's a more or less rational way. And if you can't avail yourself of it, which most people can't, then you're just stuck. Now you're stuck until you can pick another program. You can pick another goal. There's nothing that prevents you from being successful in a different way, no matter what has happened to you. And like you say, that's rehabilitation or whatever language you want to use. But ultimately, it comes down to you're going to have to spend your efforts to move in a different direction and away from those people, because that is what sets you up for the failure to begin with. I tell people going to college when they're 18 or military, your choice of friends will determine your future. Even in what they call millionaire clubs, they say if you're around 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth. Well, you may not be the sixth millionaire, but you'll be a hell of a lot longer on the path than somebody that hung out with five derelicts, which is what I call what I did in high school. So, right. So you start to get the picture of all this, right? Is
Yeah.
that, when you lose or get accused or whatever, you're going to have to change the whole show. You're going to have to change your belief system, your feelings, your thoughts. All of it is subject to change. And the great thing about that is, even though it's painful, I say you've been given that opportunity to be something other than what the world has positioned you as or programmed you as. It's like Coolio said, I'm a victim of the hood. I didn't have any choice. It's like those were the choices available to me. A lot of people, when they join the military, is they are running, not bad language, they are choosing a different path from that which they had been born into. Parents that were abusive or situations that were untenable, are opportunities that weren't available, no matter what color, race, age, anything. None of that makes any difference. It's just your ability to choose that you're going to move forward in a way that is different than the way you've been programmed or the way you've been scripted out in life is the one I use. Everything going on is a script. It's already been written out. We're in chapter 51 in, let's say, the presidential race this year. In November, we get to be in chapter 60, and January, we get to see the epilogue or something. And it's already written for both sides. It's so people get to pick on which side. And when you do, if it turns out that it was in your favor, you're going to feel all happy. And if it doesn't, you're going to feel all sad. That makes you a normal person. And that is not going to let you be successful. You have to be able to understand that we have been under different presidents for the last couple hundred years. And our parents went through 4 or 5. I've been through 4 or 5. And we still have things to do. We still have places to go. We still have goals to accomplish. And until you can get your head wrapped around that instead of being involved in social media, then you're not going to do very well.